that lately too. The last couple of times. Hey,
All right,
don't
AOA
warn me before you hit
podcast.
that button, buddy.
Sorry. Jimmy Kimmel and the Epstein joke and the client list and the speculation and the whole thing. We're going to discuss that on this episode. Plus, a cop cops to making a mistake with Brian Laundrie, which proved to be pretty fatal. The Murdaugh sentencing took place. What's next for his surviving son? Miss Rachel takes a mental health break. The crazy Canada teacher, a radio host, goes missing. And Frank will perform Dave Matthews Band song that he has been working on. He says he's ready. You ready?
Kill me. It's gonna kill me that my first performance is a Dave Matthews song. But I'm ready.
All that and more on this. I think it's great that your first performance is a Dave Matthews song.
Yeah, of course you would.
Let's get into Jimmy Kimmel and this joke that he made, which is fueling speculation right now as we speak regarding he himself being included on the Epstein client list. Now, as I've been talking about for the longest time, there is information, according to the Daily Mail, we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago, that the Epstein client list is going to be released fully, not redacted. Every name that's on there, it's all going to come out and come to light. People on TikTok are saying that the list is already out. That's not true. That's not the real list. All the information
is it coming out. What are we?
I don't know. For? Do not know. I've been waiting right next to you. But as soon as it does, we'll put it out. Everybody made a big deal about an old thing that was circulating. Somebody put it on TikTok. It went viral. Everybody thought that was it. That's not it. Regardless of that. So more information still to come. Kimmel's name was floating around on that list, and we've seen his name in some other things and lots of speculation. And of course, by the way, this is besides all the other names that we already have talked about, Clinton and Chris Tucker and all these other celebrities and whatnot. So Kimmel's name is circulating on this list now, and Jimmy Kimmel told a joke on his last episode, and he showed a clip of Aaron Rodgers being on the Pat McAfee podcast, and Aaron Rodgers in the clip is saying that, you know, hey, the aliens have been around for a while, and, you know, we're gonna, you know, I think this has been a longstanding thing that we've had aliens, and he's saying all these conspiracy things, and he goes, oh, and then we're gonna get the Epstein list. And so Pat McAfee does not know who Epstein is or what the Epstein list is, so he asks him, and Pat McAfee I know, it's kind of weird. Pat McAfee tells him, and the clip ends, and Jimmy Kimmel makes a joke, basically like, look at how crazy Aaron Rodgers is with the whole, you know, tinfoil. He makes a tinfoil hat wearing joke because he's talking about UFOs and the Epstein client list and this and that, and the crowd laughs. And basically, it started now with a football player. I'll give you the name of the exact football player. His name is David. He plays, I don't know where he plays, Green Bay. His name is David Bakatari.
Okay.
You know, a strange name. And David Bakatari tweets, you know, tell me you're on the Epstein client list without telling me you're on the Epstein client list. And he puts a clip of the Kimmel joke on there, and boom, it just goes completely viral, which makes a lot of sense because when you look at it, I mean, Aaron Rodgers is talking about UFOs, which how many people, everybody's talking about UFOs. Mm-hmm. Everybody's saying what they believe and what they don't believe. It really does kind of seem like Kimmel's hedging his bets. I mean, like, let's try and discount Aaron Rodgers here, you know, so I don't look as crazy as I will look if my name comes out to be on this friggin' client list when it finally does come out.
Wow. Okay.
Kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy.
Yeah. Now, I love Kimmel. And I think that these lists that are floating around are not 100% true. And I think there's been people that are thrown on that list that probably never went down to his island, weren't part of his world. In my heart of hearts, I'd like to believe that Kimmel's not one of those guys.
Right.
But I can't ignore the fact, like, if you ask me now, and if you're going to put $50 on it, is Kimmel really on that list? I'm going to put $50 that he's not on the list.
You'd say he's not.
Yeah, I don't know why. It doesn't, even in his early man show radio day, it just doesn't strike me as the kind of guy.
Okay.
Just gut feeling. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But that being said, right. I can't deny the fact that joke of his was totally a shot at Aaron Rodgers. When you were talking about Rodgers during the pandemic and the shots and all that stuff, fair play, fair game to make fun of him. He's in the news. This was such a minute. He did something on this episode that people do in America every single day, which is like, they're up there, they're coming for us. It's been years since the aliens. Like, who doesn't say that kind of stuff all the time?
Yeah, especially with all the recent UFO sightings.
Right.
Like, it's totally on topic. It's totally on brand.
Right.
So Kimmel get me a little nervous. I'm about to lose $50 and he's really on the Epstein client list.
Oh boy.
Again, when the actual list does indeed come out.
Again, I don't know what's taking it so long. I mean, if it's all agreed upon and everything's up on the up and up, what is it going to be like this big or is it just going to be like here? Like, how is it going to be released? Like a publication of some kind, or
I would assume that the Daily Mail or the Telegraph or the Sun or the Time, one of them is going to get it first because they're the ones that are suing for it under the Freedom of Information Act.
Okay.
So one of them is probably going to get it first and put it out.
Do you think it's given to just everybody? Like, here, they're going to like fax it to every or email it to every publication and be like, now everybody's got it at the same time. So it's everywhere.
It's a good question.
It's going to be sent to one place.
If it's part of the lawsuit, then whoever's suing for it, which I think it's the Daily Mail, they will get it first, and it'll come out to them. If the court just releases it, then it'll go everywhere. But every Friday, Frank, before every Friday episode, I cringe because I feel like this is one of those things that they want to bury, and it'll be released Friday at 4:55 to minimize
But I feel like that's not going to help.
It's not. I agree with you.
Something like this, I don't think it's going to help.
No, I agree. They're still going to do it though. It's like kind of protocol, but it's not going to help. You're right about that.
Yeah. But I feel like if you're the news, let's say you're the Daily Mail and you get it Friday. Do you wait till Monday to release it?
No.
You can't, right? Or no?
No, I think they go with it right away because enough of it has been redacted, so they probably have part of the story already written. Mm-hmm. So I think what comes out first is something that is pretty basic, and then what follows that will be the really like, holy shit, this is what wasn't, or this, we've confirmed this person, or this redaction turns out to be this person. Right. So,
all right, we're waiting.
It'll be fun.
That's literally the next step, right? There's nothing to wait for other than that. That's the next thing that's going to happen.
That's podcast Christmas for us when that thing finally comes out.
Right.
Speaking of which, here comes. I got nothing. It's Jason. I ran out of steam.
Here's Jason.
Yeah. What's great though is how long have we been doing this podcast for with J Sabs, Frank? 2.5 years.
Something like that. Yeah.
You've been in radio for a long time. I've been in radio for a long time. 2.5 years for J Sabs. J Sabs, tell the people how long you've been part of the podcast for. Exactly. Her microphone is muted. So
25 years.
There you go. There she is, everybody.
Walked right into that.
Cop admits to Brian Laundrie mistake. This is another thing that came out because, Gabby Petito's parents are suing for wrongful death, as they should be. And a lot of the stuff is starting to come out in the cases, in the case that they have right there. And a Utah cop, his testimony, or not his testimony. What do you call the thing before the testimony?
Statement?
No. Deposition. Thank you. Okay. In his deposition, he basically admits, this is Moab police officer Eric Pratt. He basically admits that they made a mistake. They fucked up the whole Brian Laundrie, Gabby Petito thing. Him and his partner Daniel Robbins, they came to the scene on August 12th. They were the first two cops to respond.
Are these the two cops that we see in that video when they pulled them over?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So they separated the two of them. They talked to them. He admitted that during the investigation by the police captain, Brandon Ratcliffe, Pratt admitted to seeing more red flags than a Chinese communist rally.
That's a lot of red flags.
It's a lot of red flags.
Did he quote that?
Yeah, that's a quote. That's what he said to his captain.
Maybe you did.
That's what he said to his captain during the investigation. He said Laundrie clearly has influence over Petito's mentality that looked unsavory to me. He's mentally messing with her, Pratt said, according to excerpts from Ratcliffe's interview transcripts, including the court papers. He's just weird, not healthy dude, and that was clear, Pratt said. I thought he was an emotional threat to her. I thought he was a mental threat to her. I remember a couple of episodes ago we showed the photo of her with her face covered in blood.
Black eye and yeah.
And
when they met, I feel like in that video there were like scratches or something, weren't there?
He did have scratches on his face, yes.
Okay, was she injured in any way in that video? I don't remember.
No, I mean, we saw this photo only recently, only well after the fact. In the video, I don't think she had blood on her face.
And she wasn't bruised up or anything.
Yeah, they would have treated it very differently. In fact, I think they treated it the way they did treat it because she looked unscathed and he had the scratches on his face.
Yeah.
And then he went on to say that Laundrie seemed like a mental and emotional bully.
Oof.
That's a tough call, though. He's scathed. He's cut.
Right.
But I mean, it is hard to think that it does happen where a female is the aggressor and the male is not.
Yeah.
And they treated it like that as such, I guess, at the time. But
yeah,
I mean,
even that, well, that should be addressed then. If that's what they thought, then that should be something that hindsight's always 20/20. But when you look at something like this, you could say you take them both aside one-on-one. Is everything okay? You could tell me.
Well, that's what they did.
They did that.
And
that's what they did.
And they didn't say anything.
Well, I mean, they played it the way they played it, and then which was that she was the aggressor, and then they sent him off, right? But then during the investigation, the cops saying all these things to his captain, so clearly he had this thought, and as it was going on, and just didn't act on it. I guess I don't know.
Well, the thing is, only because I knew someone who was in a domestic violence situation. If you don't tell the cops, I want either to press charges or I want this person in jail. Like, I want this person, they can't do anything.
Right.
And a lot of times the woman will say, I don't want to press charges. So the cops are like, can't do anything. They'll tell you.
Like
can't
most
do
times.
anything. Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me because they could throw a guy in jail for attempted murder. What if the attempted murder victim says, I don't want to press charges? Too bad. The attempted murderer is probably going to go to jail, right?
Yeah, but a lot of times the women will try to cover up for the man.
Yeah.
It happened. I saw it happen all the time.
Cops say this all the time, right? They'll roll into the situation. They'll go to handcuff the guy, and then the wife who just got the shit kicked out of her will start hitting the cop to not take him away.
Yep.
Yeah, but
they call that something. I don't know what they call that, but
I think it's different if the cop witnesses it. I'm sure
syndrome. That's what they call it.
Go ahead, Frank.
It's different obviously if the cop witnesses something.
Right. But that's why most of the time when you look at these things, they'll say, hey, can you go somewhere? They'll tell one of them, like, can you go somewhere, spend the night somewhere else? Because that's the best that they can do, unless, like Janine said, they say somebody wants to press charges.
That's so weird. I'd be like, I'm the cop. I want to press charges. I don't understand. Like, there's obviously an aggressor and a victim here. There's evidence to all that. As an investigator, as a detective, as a cop, you should be able to go, well, I see something wrong here. We need to investigate this. regardless of anybody wanting to press charges. I feel like you have evidence of an assault taking place, no matter who is the assaulter and who is getting assaulted.
Yeah.
There's evidence here enough. Like it's probably. I feel like it's probable cause that a crime is going on.
Well, but I mean, look at this. You show up. The guy's got scratches on his face. She seems fine. They're both visually upset.
All I'm saying is that there's enough evidence there in that situation that you're saying to investigate it, no matter who's the aggressor and who isn't.
Right, but what do you? I mean, they did. Like, what do you ask a bunch of questions? They're both not really giving you much new information, other than it's obvious that she scratched the shit out of him. Yeah. What do you do? I mean,
wait, I'll tell you something. That the girl who I knew, she had called the cops twice or 3 times, and then the final time, I think he punched her in her eye. And she went to go punch him, and he held up his hand, and she broke his hand. And she finally said, I want him arrested, and I want to have an order of protection against him. She finally did it, and that was the last straw. And so it did happen, but she didn't get in trouble for breaking. She literally broke his hand, which is hysterical. But
self-defense, right?
It's hard. I think it's very hard to judge because I'm not knocking women, but there's women out there who will fake it.
And for most cases, it's one person's word against the other.
Right. So you can't, unless you can actually prove it, it's a like he said, she said situation.
Yeah. I mean, unless you have friends, witnesses, people that can attest to the abuse that was going on.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah. Look at Misfit's comment here. I was in a toxic relationship for years. She stole thousands, was physically and mentally abusive, and even pulled my own pew on me many times. Gun. And she always played the victim. Yeah. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that's terrible. I mean, I'm glad you're out of it. I'm glad that's no longer happening.
But see, like things like that, like then you can't really, it's how you're supposed to believe everyone 100%,
That's my biggest fear. You ever come across somebody that's not you just kind of sense like something's not right here. They're not
no, not at all.
They're not like all mentally there. My biggest fear is dealing with a person like that, and then they turn around and just say something that is totally not true and like play the victim, like Misfit was saying, and then then it's your word against theirs, and you're like,
yeah,
how do you defend against that?
It's just, I know. Then it comes down to, your friends as character witnesses, and all that stuff. It becomes a huge thing. You have to pull out all the stops and get everybody to testify on your behalf or whatever it is.
That's why I'm for cameras everywhere. I am okay with being recorded 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Because then you could always just be like, nope, that's not what happened.
Right.
But
to be honest, nobody wants to see that footage.
No. I don't know. I'm not saying they got to come and put a camera in the bathroom.
I feel bad for the person sifting through that footage.
But I'm saying, if you look at Misfit, if he has like in that situation, if you have a Nest cam in the house, if you have a baby cam, whatever, that's something that's recording, you could be like, hey, we can go to the footage. We can go to the videotape and prove that this person was being crazy a second ago. Now the cops show up and
it's like, yeah, look at the tape.
Just go.
It's wonderful if there's videotape proof. That's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty much. I mean, we're people are. You ever see these people? I knew Brian the Cannon Bannon was one of these guys. They got the camera in the car.
Oh, facing themselves or facing forward?
No, facing forward. And like, I know somebody else who has that too. The camera's in the car all the time, just always recording. And like, do you know how many times like that will catch somebody breaking into another car, or this other person I know actually saw somebody back into them, and then the car pulled away, and the video captured the license plate.
Nice.
Like,
you just pull
how
over
great
and say, hey guys, I saw the whole thing and my video camera got it all.
Yeah. How great is that?
Yeah. Oh, there's video cameras everywhere. It's I think it's great for the most part. That you got door cameras. Those I feel like door cameras is a huge step forward in safety and capturing a lot of crap, especially like package theft and all that
that's
stuff.
right.
And
That's how I got my someone stole. This is gonna be like first world white people problems right here. I'm gonna tell you right now.
somebody stole my Peloton.
So, I don't have one of those.
Oh.
Someone stole my bougie espresso pods.
Oh,
And
bastards.
I remember
That's not just for white people. That's for everybody.
it was a little. It's funny because I did go to the police station and I was like, "Someone stole my Nespresso pods," and he's like, "What?"
Did you really? You did not go to the police station.
Yeah, because I had the video of the kids, and I said,
Kids?
"Well, they were like 16, 17."
Alright.
And
Did you recognize them from the neighborhood or?
no, not really.
All right.
Maybe.
Because that's the thing. You take the footage right to their parents. And you're like, look at this.
Well, I
These little-
I
these
definitely
little
would have done that.
bastards.
Actually, I posted it on a local Facebook group, and one of the kids was recognized by someone. They gave me their name, and I went to the police station with the name. And at first, the kid said he didn't do it, and then he was like, "Oh, he lives with his single mom, and she's really sorry. She'll pay you for them." I said, "No, I don't want that. Just don't steal my coffee pods, please."
Yeah, that's
You know
a
how
big.
important that is.
That's a big thing.
You know, if you would have
Yeah.
rang the bell and asked me for them, I probably would have gave you a few.
Right.
You know, it's like you don't have to steal them. I mean,
You know what's funny?
I know.
You said bougie white people problems, and I almost made the joke like, "Oh, what do you think? Black people don't drink coffee?" On TikTok the other day, I come across a Shaquille O'Neal TikTok, and he's telling the story about how the guy who created Starbucks asked him to invest early on, and he's like, "Man, black people don't drink coffee." He's like, "I don't think this is gonna work," and so he passed on getting in on. I mean, he eventually like second time around, he got in on it, but that was after it already like kind of took off a little bit. But he basically said, which I would wonder if that's really true, that coffee's not a thing in black culture. That's the way he made it sound like.
That doesn't seem right.
He's like,
pretty
nobody
funny.
in my family drinks coffee. He's like, if it's hot chocolate, maybe. He's like, but not coffee. He's like, he's like, nobody in my family ever grew up drinking coffee, so I didn't think coffee was a big deal.
That's weird. That seems. I feel like everybody drinks coffee.
Yeah, but I talked about this before too with Keepy Uppy. Like I joked with my kids
Oh.
like that was a game, like keep the balloon up from hitting the ground.
Sure.
And so they think this is like a real thing that is around forever. They're gonna say "keepy uppy" to somebody, and they're gonna be like, "The fuck you talking about? What's keepy uppy? That's a made up
Well,
fucking
that's
word."
different. Coffee's universal.
Well, apparently not the Shack's family. Misfit, it was all over me cutting her off for money because she had a pill habit. Those pill habits will be a bad thing. What do you think is worse, pill habits or Janines Brother's gambling habit? Because I'm going to say Janines Brother's gambling habit.
I would say Janines Brother's gambling habit, but he wins a lot, so I can't really.
He does win a lot.
Right.
Every time we look at it, he's showing us his printed out receipts of all the money he's won. I'm like, oh shit, look at this.
Janine, I sat when we played cards the other day. I sat next to your brother in Frank's house at a card table for money, and I look over and he's looking at his phone and he is playing
Poker.
Yep.
in another game virtually somewhere else for real money. Like that
That's a problem.
might be a problem.
Do we need to talk to him? Do we need to have a thing?
He definitely has a gambling problem.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's in Atlantic City right now.
Yeah, right.
Which I'm grateful for because I'm living vicariously through him. I'm like, I can't. Did he send food pictures yet? Because I feel like they're gonna get some good steaks over there.
They're already at the fight, so no.
I love that we were invited.
Ooh,
What
Frank,
the
you
hell?
wouldn't have gone. You wouldn't have gone.
I got to tell you
Sure I
something.
would've.
There was no real invite extended my way, and I was a little upset about that.
I didn't get an invite. I invited him. I'm going to I'm going to AC in a couple of months. I invited you. I invited him. Invited anybody who wants to go.
I'm sorry, I didn't get an invite, but okay.
You're
When are
invited.
you going?
I'll tell you later. I'll tell you after.
Mercury 7. I had a stalker. Frightening. Second biggest fear besides somebody being a crazy liar.
Oh no, I would love
Stalker.
a stalker. I would
No,
love a stalker.
What?
that's so
You want
creepy.
a stalker? You have kids. Yeah, you don't want a stalker breaking into your house and shit, or staying outside, peeking in your windows.
Oh yes, I do. Are you kidding me?
All
Have you
right.
seen the show You?
No, is it about stalkers?
Mm,
Is there a stalker in the show?
there's a stalker essence to it. The
Mm.
guy is so hot.
Yeah.
See, I don't think real stalkers are this crazy fantasy stalker thing that you read about, or my wife probably reads about.
Yeah. I bet real stalkers.
Ask her right
stalk pe-
now. Ask her right now if that's a fantasy of hers.
Hey, listen. Just because I feel like this is just my opinion, but I feel like real stalkers stalk because they can't get real relationships.
I don't know about that.
Quick question. Janine wants to know:
I don't know.
Is
I could be
do you
wrong.
have a stalker fantasy? Is having a stalker hot? She said no.
Yeah, she's
Oh.
lying to you.
She says you're lying to me.
I'm not lying, but
Because it's creepy.
they want that obsession. They want someone obsessed with them.
She says there are women that do. They want somebody obsessed with them. By women, you mean Janine?
Yeah.
That's different. I feel like if there could be maybe not obsession's not different, but like if someone's really interested in you, but stalker has like this
I know.
creepiness to it. Like if someone's infatuated with you or a really big fan, that's different. But if someone is stalking you, that's another level. I feel like that's a creep level that, you could have a really big fan that if you go to if you do like a signing or something, they're there and they follow you around. That's one thing. But if they're like peeking in your windows and shit and following you to the grocery store and that's another level.
Waiting for you outside the radio studio at 5:45 in the morning, like that kind of
Right.
thing.
That
Oh,
kind of thing.
Okay,
Did you have that?
so I would like that.
Had that
But
once.
here we go. Girl I worked with, this just reminded me, she did have a stalker, her ex-boyfriend.
Is there a
And-
story we've ever told that it didn't happen to someone you know?
No, I really
Okay.
this was creepy. I just know a
Before
lot of
you tell
people-
this story, ex-boyfriend stalker seems worse than
Yeah.
generic stalker.
Depends. It depends because
I don't know.
generic stalker, you don't know how dangerous they could be. Ex-boyfriend stalker,
You know.
granted, they could be very dangerous and you might not know, but there is a certain level of maybe, I don't know if they're, again, you never know what anybody's capable of, but there's a little bit of, at least I know who it is.
But they can't let go. Isn't that a little creepier?
Yeah, no,
like,
I know. They're both bad, but I feel like a stranger's a little worse, I think.
all right,
So-
good.
She was going out with this guy for years, and I mean, he was nuts. He was very crazy. She broke up with him. And started
Wait, did
dating-
she broke up with him? Is
She
it
did.
over? Can
Oh,
we
don't-
introduce
don't
her?
know.
Can we introduce her to Misfit and see if we can't make a love connection there?
Oh, maybe.
That'd be nice.
Misfit might be a little gun shy, no pun intended.
But she started dating someone from work, and this guy found out. So this just reminded me of something even worse. He had a key to her apartment, and one day while she was at work, he got really upset. He found out she was dating the guy from work. No one at work knew yet. He went to her house and kidnapped her dog.
Oh,
That's terrible.
So when she got home, she lived on on the second floor. So the dog couldn't have gone out. Like there was no way, like it was like a door left open and nothing. And then he took a picture and sent her a picture of the dog in his apartment. And he was like,
did he go
"Oh
to
no,
the cop? Did she go to the cops?
she did." And I guess because they had the dog together, he couldn't. She couldn't get the dog back. She finally did get the dog back, but I'll never forget two instances. One day, we get out of work, we go lunch. We turn the corner, and he's waiting there, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Oh no, I was by myself that time, and he's like, "Hey, is Nicole with you?" And I was like, no, I just came by myself. And he's like, all right, tell him waiting here. And I was like, oh God. And I called her and I was like, oh my God, like what do I do? And she's like, just don't tell him where I am. And I'm like, okay, fine. So that was one instance. And then he actually waited, I think it was like 5 hours outside the building for her to come down. But I believe she went through the back entrance, so she didn't see him. Another time, and I mean this is years out. We didn't even work together anymore. Me and her go to the taping of the Martha Stewart show. He is we're online waiting to get into the studio.
Is he a camera operator?
No.
Just turned it around.
She must have, like, I don't know if she tweeted that morning, on our way to Martha Stewart or whatever. He read it. Sure enough, he shows up online. And he's like, hey. And we turn around. She's like, what are you doing here? And he is like, I came to see you. And she's like, I don't want to see you. And it was just so creepy. Like, he knew exactly where we were.
Yeah. And this is what you want? This is your fantasy?
Yes.
You just called it creepy. And I have to apologize to Misfit. I didn't mean to make light of your situation. I apologize.
Did you make light of his situation?
But I said no pun intended. The gun thing. But he was gun shy.
So it is
I didn't mean to make light, and I'm sorry.
But yeah, that was crazy. Like, and he did it multiple times where he would just either wait for her to walk out of the building during lunch or after work. And it's like, sorry, the guy's actually dead now, but that's a whole nother story.
She killed him?
No.
That's crazy.
Holy cow.
You got a movie on your hands here.
No.
Good Lord.
How did he die? He stalked the wrong person, didn't he?
I think he had MS and he died from that. I don't, one of those like diseases like that. But yeah, it was like, it was bad for a while. I can't believe he kidnapped the dog though. That was like, okay.
That is weird. Do you think, okay, let me ask you, so you kind of know this guy. Do you think a stalker just can't do anything but stalk? Or do you think it was just his feelings for her that turned him into a stalker? Like I'm saying, like, do you think his other exes would have similar stories to your friend? Or
no,
do you
I think it was just her.
It was just her.
I think it probably depends on his level of infatuation. You know, I'm sure he had exes, maybe that he was like, you know, that when they broke up, he was
actually
fine with it. Or whatever,
you know what's weird? His brother died of some liver disease, right? When he was young too.
Jeez.
He married his brother's ex-wife.
Was his name Hunter Biden?
No, I know, right?
Okay. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, I still don't know how I feel about that, messing around with your brother's ex. Mercury, that's crazy. I was young, living on my own for the first time. That's, you know.
Yeah, that's creepy. That's it's right out of a horror movie.
It is.
And she was living by herself too. That was creepy with the dog. Like, why would you?
This guy was in my house and took my dog. I mean, she got the dog back, right?
Yeah, she did.
How
but when you break up with somebody, don't you get your key back? You're like, that's part of the breakup. Like, you hand the key over. Why did he still have the key to her?
He made a copy.
You
know, I'm not saying stalkers abide by the law every time. So I'm sure here's your key back. Forget this copy that I made. You know, I think it's if you change your locks. Hopefully, I would, if you have any kind of inkling that that's going to happen, I would be like, I'm changing my locks.
I'll be honest. He probably would go to any length to try to do what he did.
Ugh, that's breaking and entering.
You know what's weird?
You go to jail for that.
And I love my wife more than anything. I've never felt that. Like, I have never felt like I'm going to embarrass the piss out of myself to show my love first. Like,
you know what? Then you don't really love her.
How far are you willing to go, Anthony?
I would do anything for her. I would do anything for
but
her.
not embarrass the piss out of you.
I have never in my life like felt so strongly for somebody that I had to go wait outside the place that she goes to lunch to.
You didn't do the old Simon Bennett Roberts Oppenheimer tap. Simon Bennett Roberts Oppenheimer tap.
I'm trying to think if I ever tried to coincidentally run into somebody.
I think that what he wanted to do was run into her with her new boyfriend.
Oh, to cause like a
what's-
problem.
What was that going to do?
The funny thing is, this guy was about 5'4", the tallest, and her new boyfriend was about 6'2". And I'm like, bro,
That's
what do you
great.
think you're gonna do? Come on. So I mean, yeah, he was nuts. He was definitely nuts. I honestly, I couldn't even see why she even went out with this guy in the first place. But I don't know. Just
It's weird. Like I dated this girl for. Let's not ask Ant questions here. Okay.
oh,
But
I want to know.
Let's not get specific, but I dated this girl once, and it was rocky for a little while, and we had broken up, gotten back together, broke up, and
I know
it
who
was kind of like, this is over, like, and then one of the last times we broke up, so I don't remember when it was, like a Wednesday or a Tuesday or Thursday. It was during the week, and supposedly she had gone to hang out with this other guy on Saturday, and that was it. Like I was Dunskies. Like there was
Really?
there was no like as I don't even know if it was romantic, if it was just a friendly thing. The details of it concern me not. The mere fact that she went was enough. I mean, like I said, the relation, it was over as it was. But that was it. I never, now subsequently from that, she begged for me to like take her back, because that was that, like after she calmed down from her craziness, that was like weeks
Yeah,
later.
she saw the clear vision.
She could have had all this.
She sounds messed up to me.
But my point is that second that she crossed that line to go out with another dude, that was it. I never felt that like I'm going to like show her. And I don't know. I feel like it was less to do. I think that's more to do with me than her. Like I would never be like, I'm going to win that my love back. Or like you see that in the movies all the time. Like, right? Like the girl goes off and dates the other person. It's basically Spider-Man, the Peter, the first one.
Yeah, but that was his best friend.
True. Still, I don't understand that. Like, I have to get the girl back. Like, if the girl doesn't want to be with you, move the fuck. I don't think you can convince anybody, is my point.
Right.
Right?
Well, this guy definitely liked the drama, so he was like, I'm going to prove to you that you should be with me and not him.
Yeah, I think that's like Biff syndrome. Like, I learned that like at 8 years old watching Biff. I'm like, this is never gonna work.
This guy's not doing this right.
You're never gonna convince Lorraine to be with you. It's just never gonna happen.
That's it.
Then again, it worked in Back to the Future too.
No, it didn't, because here's what bothered
She
me.
was not happy. No one was happy in that situation.
He works to get Lorraine, and then he's taking hot tubs with fucking 2 titty girls. Like,
Yeah.
Because he is a scumbag.
I guess so.
What do you want from Biff? He's Biff.
That's true.
Just,
Biff.
Don't take your life lessons from Biff. Do
Biff
what
this.
Biff doesn't do. Okay.
That's true. I'll tell you what, nothing makes me smile more than when that cast gets back together for some fucking reunion-y podcast thing. They've been doing that a lot. Like, I saw a clip of Michael J. Fox walking up on stage, and he does not look good, but he fucking made it to that chair and picked up that microphone to answer questions for an audience somewhere. And I could not. I was smiling from ear to ear. I could
that
not
was
be
the
happy.
greatest. And then Christopher Lloyd comes out and they do a big hug.
Yeah,
They sit down. It's a great thing.
yeah. But
They
Jennifer
just
and
recently. Okay.
Biff have been like I see pictures of them on Instagram all the time.
Sorry.
Not Jennifer. Lorraine.
Lorraine, sorry. Yes, sorry.
Yeah, they go around all the time. But Michael J. Fox and Christopher Lloyd, they just released. Then they were promoting like this new line of Back to the Future like merchandise, like T-shirts, and you know that red looks like a life preserver vest that Marty wears.
Yes. Yeah.
They have that, and
Huh.
it's like autographed, and they're selling them
Yeah.
for I don't know, it's like $300 or something. But they have all these new T-shirts out now and stuff.
They could have my money. I love Back to the Future. I don't know what it is. It's
I
just
can't tell.
it's
I have
just
so many. There are so many plot holes, but I still love the movie.
It's so great. I don't know if there's a better trilogy out there, to be totally honest with
Star
you.
Wars, but hey,
Mm.
that's more of a saga than anything.
Alex Murdaugh was sentenced to 2 lifetimes. It's always my favorite sentence when they do that.
I know it too, because it doesn't make sense.
I just love it so much.
Well, the reason they do that is if there's any kind of leniency in the future or appeal or whatever it is, they're working backwards from 2 life sentences. Do you know what I mean?
Ooh.
So like if we can get your sentence reduced, well, you got to start way behind. It's like
Yeah.
it's not 20 years, it's life plus life.
So you're
for getting
saying
that reduced.
Demolition Man, cryo freezing, if they defrost him, he still wouldn't be able to be released into the population because he'd have that second life sentence to work off. That's what you're saying.
Well, he technically didn't die yet, so he still
Mm,
has
True.
his first one and his second one.
Um,
I think that's how it works. That's just my understanding of life sentences. I know also they do that symbolically because it's 2 people that were killed, so they account for that. It's 2 life sentences because you took 2 lives.
Interesting. Got it.
But I think it's all combined.
So Buster Murdaugh is the only one left, and as the story goes, they say he sat in the courtroom for 6 weeks during this trial and didn't make a facial expression. His dad got sentenced. He walked outside and collapsed on the floor.
yep.
J-Sabs, you're the expert in this area.
Well, I'll be honest. I'm very surprised that they convicted him.
Took him 45 minutes, apparently, of deliberations. It was like
Well,
nothing.
Since they got it so fast, I was like, oh, they're going to say he's guilty because it was that fast. But, looking through my TikToks, people were saying that they didn't have enough evidence that he 100% did it. But today, one of the jurors actually spoke out and said what did it for him was this fucking Snapchat video.
That he was
Because he was
there a few
there,
minutes before.
right?
Right.
What I don't
Surprised.
I still don't understand because when they do time of death, and I'm basing this purely on like TV and movies and stuff. They always say they can't get
Good
it
solid
exact
ground.
to the minute. They get it as close as they can, but it's
Well,
usually within an hour.
They
or so.
can, because the way they do it is, and how they do it is, they take
Yeah,
the
I'm sure
temperature outside, and then they
Yeah.
take the temperature of the body,
Right.
and that's how they can tell a certain time
Oh,
of death.
sure.
But
Like, can you get it to the minute? I don't think you can get it to the minute.
you can get it to the minute. That's what they
All
say.
right. Okay. I
Believe me,
wouldn't
Frank.
know.
I've read
I'm
enough
going off-
crime
yeah, if you know, you
novels.
know. Okay.
I have.
I'm
No, I
going-
have.
I'm going off of TV and movies, just like with the double life sentence thing. That's just my own thought process. I didn't see that anywhere. So I think that's why they do that.
I mean, yeah. So if they have him there, he also lied about being there too, because he said he wasn't there
Yeah, that's fucking
at
insane.
all.
Yeah. And
Sorry,
then
bro.
I wonder what the answer to that was. Like they said you said you weren't there. We have proof you were there. Here's a video. What's his comeback to that? Well, I guess I was lying.
Yeah. Well, right.
There's no comeback.
Right. Because if he didn't kill them and he was there, he should be able to say, this person was the one who did it. No?
Or I saw someone else, saw someone around, whatever the case may be. Yeah, if he was there and he had nothing to do with it, he should be able to say, I was there, I was with my son, I was outside, I was doing this, I was doing that. But
Also, his cell phone was around there at that time too.
Yeah.
Which they got you there. They do, just like they got that guy who killed those college students.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, these people don't realize your cell phone is pinging everywhere you go. Like, hello.
Yeah.
In this
Constantly.
day and age, how do you not realize that? But and then also what was really messed up was after she died, someone tried to open her phone with the face recognition and didn't work. So
Oh,
it's like they could see how much they could tell, like what goes
Damn.
on.
This gruesome
So
bastard, man.
That's why I'm in favor of just filming everything. Like I'm okay.
Yep.
Somebody said passed the comment before surveillance state. I know, I get it, but
But if you're filming your own house, it's your own. It's
Right.
not like the government is filming you. If you have cameras in your own house, that's just for you, unless something terrible goes on, God forbid.
right.
It's just for your purposes. If someone
Right.
breaks in or if something goes wrong.
Mhm.
But again, no one else is seeing that except you, unless
Right.
you want someone else to see it.
Right. And or when you really need it in these particular cases, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
But
not, you know.
I was reading something earlier that said this Alex Murdaugh was a douchebag from the word go. Like, I think it was his like college or high school like friend or something that was like he was always this super entitled,
Yep.
massive asshole who just fucking thought,
Who the fuck he was?
yeah,
What was his-
exactly.
What was his? Why? What was his motive? I'm guessing money, but I don't know because he killed his wife and his son.
It's a good question. Why do you think he did it, Janine?
Do they have? You know.
People were saying that he did it because he knew he was going to get in trouble for stealing all that other money. So he wanted attention away from that. So that's why he wanted, like, people to
Sympathy.
feel sorry for him.
Right.
It's weird.
Jeez.
And I'll say this, and I'll say this right now. He's definitely going to try to kill himself in prison. That's no doubt. No doubt. So
You think so?
they'll find him. Yep.
I mean, if you're willing to kill your wife and your child just to get yourself out of trouble, it
There's no
seems like
limit.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no. Yeah.
Plus, there was a whole thing afterwards where he called. Did I say it the other night? I don't remember. He said he called the cops and said that he was driving down the road and someone shot him in his head. And when they got there, he did have a shot. Like, I don't know if it like just grazed him or I don't know. And it came out that one of his clients that he represented years ago, he called him to help him try to look like he killed himself or was going to kill himself. So it's like, what? Like,
Yeah. He was a lawyer.
Yep. So why would you? So I don't know if the guy. He said, I don't even know. I couldn't understand. The guy said he didn't know that it was for something about insurance money. But the guy got in trouble. You're not supposed to try to pretend to try to kill someone,
No, you're not.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Well.
Very
hey,
strange.
I got. That's just pure fucking messed up evil right there. This guy
Yep.
kill your wife and your son. Ugh.
How about the only surviving son, Buster? What does this kid do
He's-
now?
Is there any other family? Does he have?
Well, that guy Buster, there was something with him 2 years back. It was said that he was gay, and the guy that he was in a supposed relationship in was killed.
Oh,
Oh,
this poor.
Let me tell
kid. How
you,
old-
go watch this series on Netflix because
God.
Right.
How old is he? Could he be on his own? The kid. Is he
maybe
a kid?
he's
Is he an adult?
20.
yeah, he's young, but I think he'll be okay.
Man.
But God, what do you do if your parent is convicted of killing your mother and your brother, and your fucking old partner got killed? That's unsettling.
That's a lot to handle.
I'm
Yep.
surprised he showed up in court every day like that. To me, I don't know if I could do that. If I can go there and sit there through all that.
Unless
They
he,
probably told him that it looks good for him.
yeah,
if
unless
his
he
son is
believed
there.
his dad somehow.
Yep.
Could have been on his dad's side, just because I'm sure he didn't want to think that that's what happened. But he was
know.
there, right? He was
Weird.
Snapchat. He didn't. Was he ever brought up as a witness? Wasn't he right
he
there?
was.
Like he was, and he said he didn't see or hear anything.
Wait, so he was there when
Right, he
they
was
were killed?
Snapchatting like 5 minutes before. he
Oh
said.
no, that was Paul. That was the son who was killed.
That was the son who was killed. That's what I thought.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
even so, the whole I got shot in my head thing, that's just fucking shady. It's just,
So what did he shoot? Like he grazed himself with a bullet?
well, we don't really know because someone said in the chat, the guy said he never shot the gun. He said he was just giving him drugs. So who knows who to believe then, you know?
Yeah. How were they killed? Were they shot or they were shot,
were
right?
shot.
But wasn't it they said there was 2 different guns?
Yep.
Now, can't they tell who fired a gun though? Isn't that a thing?
I mean, you only know
Well-
who fired the gun with fingerprints.
They never found the weapons.
They never found the weapons.
Nope. Just the bullets so they could see what kind of bullets, like what weapon it actually came from.
All right, that's weird. The cops show up what 10, 15, 20 minutes later, half hour later, and they never found the weapons.
Nope.
Do they live like? How
think
did
they
they
live-
ditch them? Yeah.
I think they live on the water though, don't they? Live close to the water.
They're like on the like in woods because they were killed near. They had like hunting dogs that hunted wild hogs. Very strange.
Hmm.
So apparently that's a big thing too, which I didn't realize. So
They can't find the guns.
yeah. So they were killed near where the dogs were.
They were killed outside.
Yep.
Okay.
They should just fire this guy, get him. But yeah, and these life sentences, like it's some people, we should just throw him in the chair and just end it already. Like, there's no
Yeah, you
reason
know-
to keep this guy alive.
It's weird. It's not that has anything to do with whether or not to do it, but I'm saying that it's actually cheaper to keep them in jail.
Yeah.
They say than to do a. I know it's weird.
That
than to
can't
do
be
an
it.
execution. I don't know why.
Lethal
No
injection.
doubt.
You're telling me that's not cheap?
I have no idea.
That sounds
that's-
like a study that a company that profits off of prisoners.
That could be.
So,
Yeah, that could be a
I
Snapple
wonder.
fact. I have no idea.
That's
Snap.
big prison talking.
Also, darn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Holy shit, Janine. I was gonna say something about them.
That's what
Oh,
old age does to you.
He exactly. He took the stand, which a lot of accused killers do not. They don't want you to take the stand.
Right?
No,
'Cause
they
you can
do
trip
not.
up.
Right. But because he had so much experience in it,
Oh, he's
um,
a lawyer. He figured I want to do it.
exactly, a lawyer himself, he wanted to because he thought it would look good. But
Mm.
I'm very surprised. And yes, I am wearing pajamas.
Did you see his testimony?
I did see some of it.
What'd you think?
Oh God, this guy's you can tell from the guy's eyes that he's just a fucking nut job.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just by looking at him, guilty, 100% guilty, not even a
Yep.
question.
He's
Mhm.
got those like lifeless eyes. Those
Yeah. If we're judging books by covers, that motherfucker is guilty as shit.
Mhm.
soulless serial killer eyes.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think part of why he did it too was that his wife was probably going to leave him or talk about leaving him for everything that had gone on in the past, and he didn't like that.
Man.
And Paul was just a nuisance. He caused a lot of problems. So he's probably like, let me just kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
Literally. And right. He's a
Now-
narcissistic, arrogant prick. Yep.
Okay, good, because I've been having a couple of drinks. Say that name.
Francois Tabot.
Okay,
I
that's
don't
what I
know.
thought it was too. I didn't want to guess though. And
Yeah, go up one. Mercury. He pretended to cry, but no tears. One juror said.
Yep. Just like Casey Anthony.
Just like Rittenhouse.
Oh.
that is so weird. That is
Oh,
so
just
strange.
like what's her name too? Amber Heard.
Remember?
Mm.
So weird. People are fucking weird, especially when they know they're like dead to rights, guilty, and what they'll do to just even keep trying. But I'll say, as soon as I saw that article where the guy was like, this guy was a douchebag from day one, like you just look at him and you go, yep, I can see it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I totally see it.
And if you you should watch. It's interesting, the documentary. It's focused more on like what happened with the girl who got killed on the boat, but still, you'll understand why. More why like everybody hates this family after you watch it. You're like, fuck.
Yeah, I get it.
Damn.
I totally get it. Don't forget to guys join our membership, $2.99, super low. You get a bunch of exclusives. Lots of sneakies, whatever this is, you get that.
I guess you get that.
Spoiler alert, this is from Frank and I, though, just to let you guys know.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say not
It's
from
all-
me, them too.
It's a spoiler alert.
Yeah. But still, this is good from Frank and I. Don't fucking take us down a notch.
We got the goods.
We got the goods is right. Join right now. Of course, you support the podcast. You can join us on future episodes. We do lots of merch giveaways, all that kinds of good stuff. So join now. Link in the description below.
Below, baby.
Miss Rachel's taking a mental health break. We talked about Miss Rachel a couple of episodes ago when we were talking about Blippi and all that jazz.
Right. She's a YouTube lady.
Yeah, YouTube lady. She went on to TikTok. I don't know if she meant just from TikTok or from YouTube in general, but supposedly one of her co-hosts or whatever wanted to be known as they, thems.
Okay.
And people were like freaking out over that. So she's like, well, I'm taking a mental break from the internet.
That sounds like she got a lot of. It sounds like something that happened, like she got hate emails or something.
Here's what bothers me about this.
Which pisses me off.
I'm the other way. Who cares? Fuck those people. Like, why? This girl is rolling in it. She is the most influential person to anybody that has
I get it.
a 1 to 4 year old. She's.
What the hell was
What was that?
Sorry.
Somebody's upset over Miss Rachel taking a break.
All right.
I
Came
thought
in
we
there
had a
at that
haunting
time.
going on.
Like, she is literally more powerful than the president. Why are we letting these anonymous assholes on the internet have any sort of fucking impact on?
So sometimes they, it gets to you. People very negative, and people say hurtful, mean shit, and not everybody can let it roll off their back. So sometimes it's just enough's enough, and she's not quitting. She's just taking a little break.
Mental break.
Nothing wrong with that. You gotta, get your head right. It's all good.
I really feel like this is an area where we could help people, because I feel like if we got 5 minutes with Miss Rachel, she'd be like, yeah, you know what? Fuck that guy. I think she would turn it around in 2 seconds.
I'm sure she will. I'm sure she'll turn it around. She, I don't know anything. I don't even know. I've never seen a second of any of her stuff, but I'm sure
It's
she's
just
a
what
confident person. She does this for a living, so I'm sure she'll get around it and get
Well,
past it.
I don't know about
Hopefully,
confident. I mean, her audience is 3-year-olds. They're just excited somebody's talking to them. So
that's true, but you gotta have some sort of confidence to get in front of millions of people.
yeah, I guess so. I just feel like, look, we've taken a lot of hate. Janine took a lot of hate in remember the beginning, Janine? You went through boot camp.
Ooh.
Yeah,
I
you
can't
went
believe how
through.
many death threats I got.
You went through. We had a guy. It's funny. We had a guy even yesterday that's like, I forget what he said. It was so classic. Like, I'm a fucking douchebag. But
Was it as classic as Do Your Research? I love that one.
remember those? We used to get a lot of do your research.
That's a great
Anthony.
We will still get. I guess you guys aren't awake. That's like the latest.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
I guess you guys aren't awake.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, all that great stuff. But it's like, who fucking cares? Like, it doesn't
There's a-
matter.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, you read that stuff and you're like, oh, fuck.
Let me tell you something. And
Am
this
I?
is 1,000% the truth. If you're not doing a great job, you're not getting those comments. Like, those
That's true.
comments come from a sour douchebag that is completely unhappy with their place in life, and they're just going to lash out on you in this 4-line anonymous statement to make themselves feel a little less shitty than who they really truly are.
Yeah, but that's so sad, though. Isn't that sad?
It is.
It's sad. It's the
very
truth. But
much.
what's more sad to me is this girl is sitting on $1 trillion empire, and she's
I
gonna
know.
let Phil from Pittsburgh fucking take her down for a month.
Yeah, it might not just be Phil. It could be. Look, Paul says in the chat. She
Don't
probably got
blame
death
Paul for
threats.
this. He had nothing to do.
It's probably Paul. I blame
he had
him.
a comment.
No.
Sorry.
He said she got death threats. It could be. That could be traumatizing for someone who is not used to that or is very scared, and that's scary shit.
Well, I talked about this the other day, though. Like, remember I was saying, like, all these people tried to, like, dig up stuff on her to see, like, what she was beforehand. All that shit comes with being the thing. When you're on the top of your game, all that's going to come with it. Like,
Yeah,
that's just what happens.
But that's that might not be what got to her. It could just be people just being dicks to her. It doesn't have to be anything like that. It could be just some asshole saying, "Oh, how could the thing that you brought up before with what was it, a co-star of hers, someone on the show that wants to be they them?"
Yeah, it was something like that. Like, she introduced them as, like, they, them.
Yeah, okay. So it could be some asshole who doesn't, who's just an asshole and wants to, be hateful to someone like that. And it's sad when people are like that.
People don't like the they, them thing, which I'll tell you what,
Oh,
again,
they'll get over it.
I have trouble with it strictly from, we had really awful grammar school teachers early on, and it's hard to call somebody they. It's not
Yeah.
more than one person. Like, Mr. Tone is still like, I wish we could go back and fucking teach her a lesson. Be like, look, bitch, we were right. One of these,
Yeah.
eventually,
One person can be a they.
one person can be a they now. All of a
We
sudden.
refer to, like, even before we knew of the whole they them pronoun thing. You could refer to someone as they, like,
Never
John,
did.
John went to the store. Oh, did they? Or they went to the store.
That's true.
Or they stole my car. Oh,
Well,
it could be one
they
person.
was
Oh,
always
wow.
they. Remember, like, who's doing this? They are. Who's they? You know who they are.
Yeah, could refer to one person. Could refer to multiple people.
They was like a big anonymous, huge conspiracy group of people you just didn't know. You just like they're doing it. They know what they're doing.
I feel like if someone wants to be they, let them be they. That's fine. If someone wants to be her instead of him, let them be her instead of him. That's.
Yeah, I'm
who you
totally
are.
fine. I'm
There's
totally
nothing wrong
down with
with
it. I think it's great. My real only issue was that when people get upset, like when you're like, she did it, and they're like, they. I didn't fucking know.
Yeah,
And
if
I
you
also
don't know it's nobody's.
yeah, but people get upset about that if you don't know right off the bat.
No, I know that's over the top. But if you don't know, that's an honest mistake.
Yeah, I'm down with that. But again, like the grammar in me is like, ooh.
I know. Yeah, it's true.
6-year-old Ann has a little grammar issue with it, but I'm all for people being called they. I don't give a fuck.
6-year-old Ann has to grow up.
Yeah, 6-year-old Ann has a lot of issues. Has J-Sab stolen a salad lately? Great question, EVH.
No, I wonder if that place is still open. Probably not.
Probably
not.
I don't
I'm
think
gonna
they
go with
survived
no.
with all the salads they doled out.
Yeah, a lot of salad theft.
Oops.
The owner's like, I'm going through the books here. We should be making at least $30 more, $40, $50 more a week. I can't pay this guy, the tomato guy now.
Yeah,
That's it. We got to pack it in.
Closed down because of me.
you took that place down like my mother's taking down Panera via napkins.
Oh God.
Have you heard of Kyla Lemieux?
Have not.
This is a Canadian teacher that's walking around with Z-size breasts.
Oh, I've seen this before.
Z.
We never talked about this.
See, I always thought you got the A, the B, the C, and the D. That's the biggest.
She's got Z-size breasts. And the kicker, we have this has been on our like we're gonna talk about this thing and never makes an episode.
This isn't the woman whose one boob exploded, right? Or popped?
No, not that one.
Okay.
Turns out though that the Z-size breasts are just prosthetics.
Yeah.
They're not real.
And they're not even implants?
Kayla is actually a man or a biological man who walks around as a biological man. But when I don't know what he wants to be referred to. She, they, I don't know. When they go into school to be a teacher, they dress as a woman and they put on prosthetic Z-size breasts.
Now this is fucking weird. I'm sorry.
I mean,
no.
dress how you
no,
want to dress.
No.
It's an odd choice of size. You know, if you want to wear boobs, wear boobs. But that's a big. I don't know what. Is there a photo? I don't
My
know.
Frank's just
Lots
saying,
of photos.
That's some big titties.
Lots of
you know.
Here's the thing. Here again, I feel like I've turned into a father and I can't get out of it. If Kayla wants to roll into the bar on a Friday night wearing her Z prosthetic titties, all the best for you. Go have a good time, knock yourself out. Do you have to wear it in the classroom when you're teaching children? It seems like it'd be a bit distracting.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm trying to visualize Z's.
And I'm going to send you a picture, Frank. I mean, and again, if that's like how you want to be perceived in the world, okay. My issue then becomes you're wearing it to school. When you're going to run out and get a fucking taco, you're not wearing it. Then you're not being genuine to me. Like if that's how you want to be,
Right.
great.
It's just like he just wants to prove a point. Just, I don't know what point it is, but
Yeah, click on the link, Frank. I just put it in the live chat.
Sounds like he wants to prove 2 points.
Nice.
2 big
Thank
points.
Yeah, they're
big
huge.
rounds.
They're huge garish boobies. And in school, it feels like it's a little bit of a mental issue in this particular case.
I mean, 1,000%. They just want attention. Come on.
And this seems like a crazy way to get attention to me. I mean, it just seems so bizarre.
She identifies as she.
So
let me see.
I don't know if we knew all. I think it slowly came out because I think she got like a threat or a warning or something from her school. And then all of a sudden, when she started to get attention, then they realized, oh, that guy is her, just without the big titties, walking around, going to the 7-Eleven for a Slurpee.
Yeah, that's something. That's big.
Again, I do not want to be associated with the right wing. This is all mental illness stuff, because I don't believe it is for most people. But in this particular case, feels like we should get Kayla in to see
The best
somebody.
is right. The best is the nipples. Okay.
Yeah, the nipples are
Huge nipple.
I love.
They're out
Oh
there.
my god.
Yeah.
You could hang coats on them.
This is clearly like a social media stint. Come on.
Maybe.
Yeah, like she's going out for a reality show or something like that.
I don't know, man. I mean, I'm sure there's I didn't read the article. I'm sure there's she obviously did an interview. It looked like. I'm sure there's some kind of reason, but
Yeah, the reason she's fucking crazy.
Odd. It is unusual. I'll give you that.
Last story, and before we get to the DMB thing, radio host goes missing. There was a show called The Doghouse. It's pretty big in San Francisco, and it was hosted by 2 guys, JV and Elvis. They eventually found their way to New York, which is the first time I ever heard of them. I was at CBS.
Wait, what's the name? What's the names of the hosts?
They start JV and Elvis.
Okay.
Do you remember when they were on 92.3 Free FM? I think it was Free FM at the time.
I remember Elvis. I don't remember JV.
Well, Elvis Duran, not Elvis Duran. That was Elvis.
No, there was another Elvis. I
Yeah.
thought I remembered, but maybe I'm wrong.
So I was at CBS at the time, and they were on one of the other stations. So we were at the same company. They were on one of the other stations, and they always stuck out to me because Frank will be able to attest to this. Whenever we used to go out and do radio appearances for a music station, it's super easy because you would just play music. Like
Yeah,
you would go to
and then you talk, and then you just go to songs.
You go to songs. You go to the car dealership. There's music. It's like festive. It's music. JV and Elvis decide like they work for a talk station. So when they go to the local opening of a Subway sandwich shop, that they are going to talk for the entire 3-hour appearance.
Oh god.
That's a lot. It's a lot of talking.
It was a lot of talk. Like I
2 of these podcasts in a row.
Yeah, with people. And it's like, you know what you do? Like for people who aren't familiar, at radio appearances, like you bring a prize wheel and people spin it to win some shitty coupon, maybe a shirt, whatever the fuck it is. and they were like spinning prize wheels and just talking for the entire time. And I remember young Anthony, and I was doing promotions, and they were like, "Yeah, this is what JV and Elvis are doing," and I'm like, "That's fucking crazy." Like, I don't understand how. And
were they talking on the air or just at the place?
Just at the place,
They
but
weren't doing their show live from the place.
but they it wasn't their show that was on the air because it was an appearance while they weren't on their time slot. But they were practically doing a show, and
an extra whole show,
and they eventually wound up recording it, and they would just play it on their show. They would use that content for later on. So
That's not a bad idea. You take it and you use it for like a Saturday morning or something.
You might as well. You're fucking recording it. No, but they would play like if they did the appearance on a Wednesday, on Thursday's show, they were taking whatever highlights or whatever clips they wanted and playing it on that show.
Right.
It's kind of revolutionary, kind of fucking crazy. I don't know if it really worked. Free FM was a nightmare anyway. It wound up blowing up and everybody went away. Anyway, I say this story though because that I always thought that was an interesting idea. Like, even if it fails, I'll give people credit for having a crazy, cool idea. So JV and Elvis always stuck in my head. They go off back to San Francisco. In fact, the reason why they were fired, I don't know if you remember this, Frank. This was classic cancel culture. And this was back in 2006, 7.
Early cancel culture.
Yeah, whenever they were fired. So now they're on a hot talk station. This was Hot Talk at the time. Howard Stern, Opie and Anthony, like all the Man-Cow, all these crazy people that their whole entire job was just say crazy, whatever the craziest shit you could say in a day. Yeah. And then eventually somebody would find it was all offensive. Somebody would pipe up and say, I find this offensive. It would suddenly take hold and people would get fired. JV and Elvis got fired because JV said something it was an anti-Asian comment. They get suspended, they get fired. Turns out the guy's married to an Asian woman. they're out there protesting, you hate Asians, you hate Asians. He's fucking married to an Asian woman.
Yeah, but look at what's his name? Forgetting his name. The guy, the senator, McConnell. He voted against interracial marriages. Meanwhile, he's married to an Asian woman.
Is that right?
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean,
well, anyway,
so you never know. People are fucked up.
So I'm giving you background. This is all stuck out of my head about JV and Elvis. So JV and Elvis go back to San Francisco after New York, and they do a podcast, and I never really hear from him again until 2 days ago. And this is already a week old, this story already, but I only got to it 2 days ago. I guess he's doing afternoons at a radio station, and they're still doing their podcast. He leaves the house. He tells his wife he's going to work. At work, he told them, "I'm taking the day off."
Ooh.
They figure this out all later.
This is which one, JV?
This is JV. He tells his wife, "I'm going to work." He already takes the day off from work. He's not on the air. She's like, "What's going on?" Calls the station. "Where's JV?" "I don't know what you mean. JV's off today." Guy fucking left the house. I think it's almost a week ago. Hasn't been found.
Heard from him since.
Nobody's heard from him since.
Really?
Wow.
Now, today, so I knew about this on Wednesday's show. We didn't get to it. Today, I don't know if she found a suicide note or something, but she said that she found there's some personal information that she came across. And she said, this is so horrific. She said, and I'll read you the beginning of the statement. "Thank you to our friends and the entire iHeartRadio family and listeners for your love and support and prayers. I can feel your love and energy for JV. I'm so grateful for it. The amount of compassion, blah, blah, blah. I've been in so much pain and fear, and I know all of you have been so scared and concerned for JV as well. JV and I have always considered this community a part of our family, so I wanted to let you know that personal information has recently been discovered that leads us to believe JV will not be coming back.
Oh, my God.
I tell you this with incredible pain and sadness in my heart."
Wow.
That's got to be she found a suicide note, right? I mean,
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Could be that.
damn.
Isn't that fucked up?
It could
It's
be
fucked
that.
up.
Could be some, he could have been, something could have happened to him outside of him taking his own life.
Well,
That's what
Money
everybody
somewhere.
thought, but I think,
No, you don't know.
but this statement kind of leads me to believe.
Gambling issues.
something.
I don't know.
Before we
It's
got on
messed up.
air, I might be part of a national news story. We'll see. I don't
Oh
know.
boy.
There was a double suicide down the block from me. Like,
Is that right?
seriously, like I want to say 5:30, 6 p.m.
It was
Tonight.
just hours ago.
Right. And
Jeez, do you know? Did you know them?
no, I have no idea who it is. The girl across the street told me that it was a father who hung his daughter and then hung himself and left a note about cheating on his wife.
Oh,
What
God.
the-
I don't
daughter
know if
have to
that's
do with
actually
it?
true or not, but we'll see. I'm trying to.
So it was a murder suicide.
They said there was 2 people who were hung. So
Well,
How
he
old
hung
was
his
the daughter?
they said 8 years old.
Oh God.
I know.
Jesus.
I don't. And it's still there. The crime scene van is still there. So we'll see.
Oh, fucking terrible.
I know. And actually, it was on the Ring app, and my brother calls me from AC, and he's like, "What's going on there?" And I was like, "What do you mean, what's going on?" I was like, "Can he see me?" And then he told me, and I was like, "Oh shit, I didn't even know." So,
He has access to your Ring camera.
it was on like the Neighbors app.
What is that? I don't know. I don't know what you mean.
So
Oh, Neighbors. It's called Neighbors. It's like a town. It's like a neighborhood watch.
Yeah,
app
is that
or
a
something.
Ring thing? I didn't know that had to
Yeah.
do with the Ring. Oh, that's interesting.
So, we'll see. We'll see.
I have to tell you something. I joined that Neighbors thing. I fucking hate it.
I know it's annoying. It's stupid.
Oh,
What is it? It has to do with Ring. What is it? All the you get access to everybody's cameras. What, I don't
No,
understand.
people
No.
post videos of
Oh, okay.
if someone's like going through like their car or something gets stolen and they have the video, they want to post about it.
All right. It's a virtual neighborhood watch.
Basically.
that's exactly. Yeah. See, no, I didn't know it was part of Ring because what my interpretation of it was, it's Facebook for busybodies. Because
Yeah,
like-
I could see that.
everything I see is like, there's a white van on this corner. Like, anybody know what this is? And listen, 10% of the time it's going to be great, but 90% of the time it is just useless horse shit that is just causing
Agreed.
a stir for no
Agreed.
reason.
Actually, you know what? Fuck those little kids who stole my Nespresso pods. I posted that video on there.
Whatever
I
happened
was
with
like-
that? Did you? I mean, did they talk to? Did they get the kid? They talked to the kid. Oh yeah, you said that his mom was is single and
I was like, no, she's
nothing
not
came of it.
gonna give me money for. Just please don't.
Yeah, just forget
I
it.
said, just
Right.
please don't. If you open a package up and you realize it's coffee, bring it back. That person needs it. Okay.
There are lives at stake here, people.
Right.
Honestly.
But yeah, I mean,
So this is terrible. This is right
Yeah.
down your block. How, like a block away from you?
literally down the block. Yep.
That's
So-
creepy.
On the same block.
Yep.
Jeez.
So we'll
That's
see.
horrible.
I don't know.
And you,
Kind of
and you
weird.
didn't know anything about them. You know who they were.
I don't really know many of my neighbors. A lot of them
Mm.
are not home most of the time, or I'm not home most of the
Right.
time either. So
You don't see
But-
them on the neighbor app.
I don't think they even have, because you can't see who's who.
Right. Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, but
just
there's
says, like,
names.
no, it just says like neighbor 56, neighbor 24.
Oh, really?
It's weird.
But anyway,
That's creepy.
That is
I have to go
terrible.
do my makeup
Jeez.
before I go talk to the cops. I'll be back.
I was gonna say, did you run there to jump in front of the cameras? Did you? Do you want to be that
It was
person?
a tragedy.
They were always
Yeah.
so quiet. I never.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. Damn though,
That's
but
awful.
like if this is kind of like a Murdaugh thing, right? Like if the story is in fact true and he was cheating on his wife, why would you kill your daughter?
Gotta have something messed up going
Yeah.
on upstairs, man.
What'd your daughter have to do with it?
And
like
just
it-
kill your wife if you're cheating. Hello.
Be like everybody else. Drive to Disney and jump off the top of the parking structure.
That's it.
Is that what they do?
I swear, like 3 people have done that now. Remember, we talked about it the
Yep.
first time somebody did it. Now there's been like 2 more people that just go to Disney and kill themselves. It's
That
like,
just
stop-
happened.
Stop doing
recently.
that.
Fuck.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see.
Have some consideration, you suicidal, depressed bastard.
Yeah, is that tall
Fucking-
buildings where you live?
But you know what's weird? Going back to the radio guy, it's weird. Like, see something like that. I don't know what it is about. You hear that it not that it's better or easier, but there's something more unsettling to me when somebody who commits suicide says goodbye to a loved one. That's very strange to me. When you're like, I'm going to work, I'll see you, and you know you're not.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like
Mhm.
that's so bizarre.
I wonder if she knows where he is, JV.
No, he's missing. Nobody knows anything.
But she knows he's not coming back.
Well, nobody knew anything until this afternoon when she put out the statement of like, we now know that like he's probably not coming back. So I don't know if that's because of the fact that he's been missing for a week in San Francisco, that if you're not back in a week, you're probably dead. I don't know if she's making that leap, but the way she
Well,
worded
said
that,
she came across something.
yeah,
She said came across some personal information or something.
he must have left a note somewhere in the house or something.
What if he just skipped the country?
Mm.
Hopefully, he's alive and okay somewhere, but I guess we don't know.
I don't know. Well, I definitely have to go do my makeup for TV. So watch me on News 12. Thanks, Brian.
All right, well, that's it. That's the show. DMB challenge is the last thing we have. You want to wait till Monday? You want to do it now?
Say whatever you want.
All right, let's do it now.
Do it now. Okay.
Let's
I
see.
was gonna say that's the show. I'm a little insulted.
All right, so I don't even know how we came about to the challenge, but basically the challenge was because Frank could play anything. So this is, what's the word I'm looking for here? The ultimate hustle.
The ultimate. Why is it the ultimate hustle?
Because Frank could play anything, and
Yeah, but it's. I have to. Tabs help. Guitar tabs. If you see those online, they help tremendously. I mean, it would take way longer to learn any of this stuff just by ear, which I do sometimes, but guitar tabs are a big part of it.
I've seen
that's
Frank
what it
walk
is.
into music stores and pick up instruments. I know he's never played before, and he'll play a fucking song on it after 35 seconds of fooling around with the instrument. So when I said, basically he has no respect for Dave Matthews.
I never
Neither
said
does
that.
neither does Janine. Neither does most of our friends, which
I
is
thought
heartbreaking to me.
Janine's roommate was gonna join me.
Supposedly he said he was gonna learn it too. But anyway, this whole challenge, because I was basically like, he's a talented guitar player. You're not giving him enough credit. I think that's how the challenge was born. And then it was like, well, let's see. I bet you can play it. And then when I said, how long do you need to play? How long do you need to learn a Dave Matthews song? Frank was like, I need 6 months.
I didn't say that.
And I was like,
I did not say that.
Close
I
to that.
said I think I said a week. But
Yeah.
then I just kept dragging my feet and I didn't do it out of pure laziness.
okay.
And I just didn't feel like it. So it took like 3 weeks because I literally started to play it. Like I picked up the guitar like 2 weeks ago, and I started like the first like 3 notes of it, and I was like, all right, whatever. And then I picked it up again this past Monday. Today's Friday. This past Monday, and I really started to learn it.
Okay. Well, this is the DMB challenge. I feel like Frank doesn't respect Dave, and that Dave's playing is actually beautiful and artistic and difficult. So when we decided we were going to see if Frank could learn a Dave Matthews song, I went out and tried to find the most difficult Dave Matthews songs that I could find. And I
You
gave
sent
Frank
me 3.
I gave Frank a list of 3. He chose 1. He says he's only been working on this for a couple of days, a couple of hours.
Since Monday, really, I've been, I really started working on it Monday. Maybe a week before that, I picked it up for a couple of minutes, but I really honed in on it. Started this past Monday.
All right. So it was Satellite too. That's the one you decided on.
Satellite was the one I picked. You gave me 3 choices. Satellite, at least I was somewhat, I know of the song. I've heard it. The other 2 you gave me, I don't remember what they were, but I wasn't at all familiar with them.
Okay.
So Satellite is the one I chose. And again, bear with me. I know every part of it. Do I know the song? Like if I listen to the song, I couldn't tell you how many times he plays this verse or that, and I'm not singing, so that's out. No singing.
Right, you're not. Yeah, nobody was expecting you to sing. I understand that.
This is just instrumental.
But are you telling me you're not going to play the song from start to finish as he plays it?
I could play all the parts. It's just in the beginning he plays the opening riff. I don't know how many
Six
times.
times.
4 times.
Yeah, you don't have to do that. Yeah, you don't have to do that.
That's what I'm saying. I know all the parts. Do I have to play every single part as many times as he plays it? That's my point.
No.
Okay.
But it should sound like it should be recognizable.
It will definitely be recognizable.
Okay. All right. And we're going to comment below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's don't worry about Frank's feelings.
I'm expecting all thumbs down.
Comment below. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's see how Frankie C does. Here's the Dave Matthews Band challenge with a Dave Matthews Band hater, Frankie C.
Not a hater. Hang on. Take 2. Take 2. This is a little pressure here. Take 3.
I gotta be honest with you. By the way, I would never be able to do this. I would not be able to do this.
See, this is a week. This is a week of learning it. It's hard to transition. So that's a tough one. It's a big stretch. Saturn. I'm not doing that. Those are all the parts.
All right. Hey, not bad.
Listen, it's 1 week of playing it literally for an hour a day.
Well, listen, as you know, it's not up to me. Let's go over to the judges and see what they think.
Wrong.
Sorry. You're getting a lot of thumbs up from the live chat, though. So that's good.
It's not easy. I'll give you that.
That's all I wanted. The guy's a talent, is he not?
It's not easy. The guitar playing is not easy, but it's this. I've always thought it's the singing I can't stand. It's this.
Well,
he's a good guitar player, and the band is good too.
You found an issue that no Dave Matthews fan can honestly defend. Listen, that's the weakest part of the whole band.
You said you gave me one of the hardest songs.
I did. I tried to make it different. Well, because you're really good. I am not making this up. I've walked into a Sam Ash with Frank. I've seen him pick up a violin and start playing like The Devil Went Down to Georgia, and the whole place stops and looks at him. He's just he's musically inclined, so I had to make this as difficult as I possibly could.
Yeah, it was challenging.
I feel like I've humbled you a little bit. I feel like the audience. I feel like I'm the bad guy here. I don't think the audience knows how good of a guitar player you really are.
You are the bad guy. I'll give you that. But listen, I haven't taken any lessons. I can't really read music.
No, totally yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. He can't
No,
read music.
Can't read music. Haven't taken lessons.
But what's the word when you just know you're naturally amazing at? What's that word?
Awesome.
No.
I don't know.
What's the word when you're naturally good at something? A phenom? I don't know. When you don't have to practice, you don't.
Savant.
Savant. Frank is a savant. Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah.
I remember when we used to jam and used to play the drums,
which I could not play. I could not play anywhere near what. I couldn't play any Metallica songs.
That was the problem. I would only play Metallica songs, and you wanted nothing to do with that.
Not that I wanted nothing. I loved it. I just couldn't do it. My talent level was not at Lars' level.
That's why we could never get any music off the ground, because we were playing two different styles.
Yeah.
You were hooked on, play something Dave Matthews like. And I was like, how about, and I would turn on the electric guitar and I'd be like, da 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 da, and we wouldn't mesh up.
And nothing. Yeah. But even, I always tried to find common ground like Incubus or Green Day.
Incubus.
You never had any interest in
Incubus
any of those
sucked.
bands.
Green Day I'd play.
Well, I can't play Green Day either on the drums. Okay. That's fucking difficult. That fucking Green Day guy. I saw a clip of him the other day. He's 56. He's playing like he's 21 still. The Trey Cool. It's ridiculous how good that guy is at drums.
He's good. They're all good in that band. It's very, the music they play is very chord, a lot of like 4-chordy.
And punk. Yeah, exactly. They're playing the basic punk shit. Yeah.
Robin has a good question. Where's Beat My Drum? Could you start backing me up?
That would be great.
That'd be good.
That would be great. You should have gotten her from the beginning, not me. That was a problem.
She wasn't known to me at that moment.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, though. Can I be honest with you? I felt like Satellite was a bad pick.
Why?
I thought that was the most difficult one. I thought the other ones were a little bit easier.
Yeah, but I never heard of the other ones. At least Satellite I knew of, and I kind of knew what I was walking into. I listened to the other ones, and I was like, it's a little all over the place. I'm not very familiar with it. It was completely unknown to me, the other two. I don't even remember what they were called.
Yeah.
But at least Satellite, Satellite, I understood. I knew it.
Because the thing is like, all right, I'm into music, like slightly obsessed. And I've watched a ton of guitar players. And you name Jimi Hendrix, like Eric Clapton, name any of the greatest guitar players ever. And they all don't play a difficult style like Dave plays. Like when you watch Dave play, his fingers are alarmingly, oddly placed.
Stretches. Like there's in Satellite. This is one of the chords.
Yeah, yeah.
It's all fucked up. It's literally stretching across 5 different frets, and it's like it's a.
Yeah, it's very unnatural looking to have a hand shaped that way. Yeah. A lot of the times.
He stretches out like a son of a bitch. That's why that second part took me a while to get down. But I know all the parts. It's just a matter of to transition from one part to the other. But I got them all down, if that helps.
Mm. It's kind of a fun lick, though, isn't it not? Like a little scale that he's got there.
I mean, if you could see my hands, let me see if I can get I can get it on my hands, this camera. I don't want to knock the whole thing over. It's a bitch.
Yeah, That's a lot.
It's a lot of this.
That's not easy.
It's not easy. But that was the hardest part, was the beginning. Then the other parts were just learning chords.
Everybody's
Hardest part
very
was the
very supportive of you and on your side, which pisses me off.
Listen, you challenge accepted, challenge conquered. I don't know what to tell you. Wish I could help you, buddy.
I don't know if you conquered this one. I'm not sure.
I conquered it. I know the song.
All right, let me ask you a question. Should we, if we don't have time for Blue Oyster Cult, should we challenge you to do another Dave song, or
Kill you right where you stand.
or should we let the audience, not now,
Mhm.
on a future episode, pick a song that you have to learn?
Yeah, that's fine. Give me any song. But if it's like, Cliffs of Dover or something like that, I'm not doing it.
The fuck is that?
You don't know Cliffs of Dover?
No.
Ba-doo, 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 ba-doo. It's the all instrumental
Oh, who's by who?
by what's his name? Johnson, something Johnson. I can't remember his name.
Dick Johnson?
Dick Johnson.
Whenever I type
Eric Johnson.
whenever I check into a hotel, I go under the name Dick Johnson.
You're an ass. But I can't. But you never heard of Cliffs of Dover? That's like classic. It's classic rock, but it's like his one-hit wonder, Eric Johnson. You have to listen to that song. You've heard it if you heard it.
I probably, yeah, maybe. There's so many guitarists, like you, because I worked at a music intensive station. I would hear these people, and I'd be like, I've never heard of this fucking person. And they would come to town and play these like 300-400 seat venues and completely sell them out. And I'm like, who are these people?
Yeah, I don't know how they get such a following,
And you listen to them, and it's just like, it's like 4 hours of and just soloing. Like, and I'm like, oh my God, like enough already.
People love it.
People love it. I think you get high as fuck and go to that show, though. I don't know if you could really be sober at one of those shows. I'm not sure.
That probably helps. I'm sure not everybody there is totally,
in the right mind. Listen, we cannot do Frank knows every Metallica song, so you cannot suggest a Metallica song. It has to be a non-Metallica song. Also, his wife loves Taylor Swift, so I'm going to also disqualify her because I feel like he's listened to a lot of that, and he'd probably get that down really quick.
I'm taking requests in the chat.
You think somebody could throw one out now? Well, what is that? Is that Sanitarium? Yeah, Frank knows all the Metallica. Have you learned the new Metallica? That's what we should do.
Should do that.
We should. When is Metallica putting out their new album?
April. I want to say, I can't remember the date. 12th to 24th.
All right, whatever it is. What do they? I don't even know when they release an album. Is it at midnight? Is it at like noon?
Good question. I think it's at like that morning. Yeah,
That morning.
Yeah.
On a Friday, isn't it usually Friday or is it Tuesday?
Whatever that. I'll look it up. I think it's April. I'll look it up.
The industry used to be they released new records on Tuesday. Then all of a sudden, everybody decided they were going to put out new stuff on Friday. But I'll tell you this: Dave's going to release his new record on Tuesday because he didn't get the fucking memo from the record industry that they're doing everything on Fridays now.
April 14th is when they're releasing it, and that is a Friday.
That's a Friday. Okay, so that should be the challenge. Album comes out on a Friday morning, and Frank's got a life; he has things to do. But I would wonder how long it would take him to start playing one of the songs that has not been previously released on the album that night on the podcast.
That night, Friday night.
That's a good challenge.
The 1-day challenge.
It's like 3 or 4 hours when you think about it, because
Is it? I mean, I do other things during a Friday.
Yeah. All right, 2 hours maybe. It's not a lot of time. You got to eat
Try.
dinner. Your wife, I'm sure, is going to want to spend some time with you. Yeah, it's not a long time, but I wonder, because that's down your alley. You had a lot of training in that area, so I wonder how long that would really take you.
Metallica songs, I could probably learn a little faster. It's very power chord heavy.
Well, that's the thing. We're doing this. Listen, I don't know how much time you're going to have to spend. It doesn't even matter. It's a chance to do the experiment. We may never ever get this. It may be another 6 years before they release an album. We get to do it again. Here's a chance where there's going to be a new Metallica record. You're going to have some time to listen to it. I wonder if you'll be able to play a song that night. You may be, you may not be. You'll all have to tune in on April 14th.
I'll have to hook up the electric, which is right behind me.
There you go. Do you want to play? I was going to start to play the podcast outro. Do you want to just play it live?
Sure. Wait. Gotta remember how to play it now.
You fucking wrote it.
How the hell do you play it?
There it is. All right, that's it for us, everybody. We will catch you guys on the next episode. Make sure you become a member. Join right now at the link in the description below. Maybe we'll have a private members-only concert where Frank will perform the Metallica Best Of record. That'll be exciting to see. Until then, have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you like and subscribe. Become a member. Share this podcast. And that's it. We will catch you guys on the next episode.
Show me potato salad. Maybe we should go now. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Bye, everybody.